Hello and welcome to my new video. This is Bobble and Rainbow Islands for the PlayStation 1. As far as I can tell, this is pretty much as near as Dammit Arcade perfect emulation running on the PS1. It's a compilation of actually 3 games, Bobble, Rainbow Islands, and then an enhanced version of Rainbow Islands, and it's rather good. I quite like it. The only annoying thing I have with the game is the annoying push second player little dinosaur git in the bottom right corner. That just sort of gets on my nerves. Would have liked them to have been able to remove that from the game just to make it a little bit more aesthetically pleasing, I guess. Not as confusing. I don't keep thinking out of the corner of my eye that there's something there that I need to kill when there isn't. But yeah, aside from that, it's awesome. I've loved Bobble. I remember back in the day, as they say, they used to have this in the bus station newsagent's kiosk thing when I used to go to school, and they would have a number of arcade machines. They'd normally be able to fit around 3 arcade machines in this little kiosk thing, and they had such gems in there as Rastan Saga, 1943, Salamander, the Aliens arcade game, which I think was by Konami, which is absolutely awesome. I never understood why that never got a home release, because it was absolutely awesome. And they had Bobble, Double Dragon. They usually had a lot of the classics, and it was really good. And unfortunately, because I used to have to use that bus station a lot to get to and from school at the time, a lot of my spare cash used to go on playing these arcade machines, especially on the way home, and didn't really tend to do too much of it on the way to school, otherwise I'd have been late all the time. And the school were exceptionally strict on that kind of stuff, so although I did occasionally stay in there longer than I should have done on the way to school, if I was feeling a little bit rebellious or fed up. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, that's where I first came across playing Bobble, and I really enjoyed it. And at the time, the nearest, well, the version that I ended up getting, the only version that I could get at the time, was the Commodore 64 version, and that was an awesome version. It was probably one of the best arcade conversions on the Commodore. They really did nail it. They got so much of the arcade in there, even down to the basic music that goes on throughout the game. I mean, they knocked that out of the park too. And graphically, it was probably as good as you were ever likely to get on the C64. It was a damn pretty good job. But yeah, this is obviously a lot more accurate. This is more like the real deal. And I enjoy playing it. It's awesome. Let's have some of that big massive cake there. The cake in this game most definitely is not a lie, as you can see by that really nice score I got. And what I love about this, it harks back to a very, very simple age in video games. It's a very simple game to play. You get the little monsters on the screen, you got to encase them in a bubble, pop the bubble, pick up the fruit, pick up the little letters that spell out extend for a super duper bonus, and that's it. You know, you don't have to worry too much about anything complex. You know, it's gameplay really that's based around getting a high score, and I really like that kind of stuff. To me, it's just sort of having that simplistic, uncluttered gameplay is the strength behind arcades. And it is also, despite the fact that, you know, it's kind of a cutesy game, it also can get murderously difficult as well. I don't like them bloody purple things that are going around. They always get on my nerves. They always end up killing me and pissing me off immensely. The other stuff I can take, even the ghosts that have the rather annoying little barrel things or whatever they are, little fireballs or whatever they are that they roll out at you. But yeah, it's good. And like I say, this is probably as good as a version of the game that you're likely to get. It comes bundled with Rainbow Islands, which I will show you shortly once I've... Yeah, this level I'm probably going to die. It's actually... Normally you can get past this level quite easily, but I just think today, when I played this, I was being just exceptionally crap, as you can see there. So, that is Bobble on the PlayStation 1. And as I've already mentioned, there are another couple of games on the disc, and the next game that was on the disc is this one, which is Rainbow Islands. Now this is, again, as near as I can tell, because I never actually played this in the arcades, a perfect version of the arcade game. Now, this is the sequel to Bobble, and I have to say I don't like this as much as I like Bobble. They obviously tried to make it a little bit more complex, you know, as one would expect in a sequel, but I don't know, I'm just not as taken with it. I'm not saying it's a bad game, it certainly isn't, you know, it's a classic game in its own right, but it's not the kind of game that I particularly would enjoy. I would not have enjoyed playing this in the arcade as much as playing Bobble, that's for certain. I much preferred New Zealand's story to this. I don't know, I mean, it's not terrible by any stretch of the imagination, it is a good game, it's just a personal preference, it doesn't really do that much for me. The whole rainbow thing, I think, gets on my nerves sometimes when they collapse under you and you end up falling. I know it's part of the skill of the game, but it annoys me a bit, I think is probably fair to say. And you know, like I say, I never encountered this in the arcades. I never played it in the arcades, so I can't say how faithful a conversion this is. I'm assuming it's as near as damn it, because there'd be no reason for it to have anything missing from it with it being on the PlayStation. With the Sony PlayStation, you're more than capable of doing an arcade perfect copy of a game as old as this, so I can't imagine there would be any cause for it to be anything other than arcade perfect. But I mean, again, it's quite a simple concept. You use your rainbows to knock out the enemy and get to the top of the screen, where you get the chest full of nice goodies. And obviously, as each level goes on, there's more challenging baddies and, you know, more challenging levels to get through. I think in this as well, there's a very similar system to there was in Bobble, where you only have so long to actually get to the goal on the screen. I mean, in Bobble, the objective was to kill everything. In this, is to get to the top of the screen. And I don't know what comes out and gets you in this, because I never got that far. But I know in Bobble, it used to be Baron von Blubber. He was impervious to the bubble attacks. He couldn't do anything to kill him when he came on screen. The idea was just simply to try and kill all the other things and get off the screen as quickly as possible. He could be a bit of a pain in the arse when he turned up, like I say, because he was invincible. So yeah, this is the Rainbow Islands part of the I'll say collection. It's not strictly speaking a collection as such, but what it's also got on here is what you can see here is the enhanced version, and this obviously has enhanced graphics, but it's exactly the same gameplay as such. They just obviously tried to justify having a couple of really old games on the PlayStation and stuck this version on. It's actually pretty good. I think it's quite good looking, and it's a nice idea. I wish companies that do these sort of compilations would do more of this, would put enhanced versions in. I like, some people don't like it, but I like the high definition remakes that have been put out on the PlayStation 3 of old PlayStation 2 games. I like that idea. Some people call it a cynical cash-in, but not everybody will have experienced stuff like the Splinter Cell games as they were on the PlayStation, or Devil May Cry, or certainly Ico, Shadow of the Colossus. If you're also reaching out to a new audience, then it's a nice idea for them to come and be as a HD presentation, looking as best as they can. But I think I'll save that one for a play and chat video in the future. I've got another one of them planned coming up soon, so I think I'll stick to waiting until that one comes out before I go a bit more in depth. But anyway, this has been Bobble / Rainbow Islands for the Sony PlayStation. If you can get hold of a copy of this, it's well worth checking out. Thank you for watching.